Hello, and welcome back to Sharing a Chapter a Day. This is Do, Ra, Me, and today I will be reading Chapter 13 of Engagement in Peril by Dara, Odoe, Sok. Chapter 13 is titled First Move. Early spring the next year, Uncle expanded the basement and added several more rooms to give us mini children our own room away from our parents. My mother was expecting her new husband and his family soon from the refugee encampment we left behind several months back. While there in the refugee camps in the Philippines, she had formed a bond with this younger guy then and wanted desperately to help him and his family migrate to the US as well, just like how we were brought here several months earlier. While renovating and enlarging the basement, I helped with the renovation and also helped to paint the entire exterior of the house. We painted it lime green. This house that Uncle had purchased was an old nursing home where elderly people reside and died in. When we first moved in the new home, it was brown and severely run down, so it was quite the fixer-upper then. And Uncle fixed it up nicely. On the house property, there were 3 apple trees, 2 in the backyard and 1 on the side of the front yard. The front and backyard were on the corner of Lansing Street. The home we lived in was in a pleasant neighborhood, friendly and serene at times. It is now somewhat different. A whole different group of home dwellers lives there now. It now belongs to some new family, and it has been repainted and changed since the last time I visited Aurora, Colorado. The home then is now painted light blue and has a wheelchair ramp attached to the front porch. During school, Adam and I became very good close friends. He would invite me to his family's home, which was directly across the street from the school. His home address is 2064 Moline Street, Aurora, Colorado, 80010. Several houses down from the corner of 22nd Avenue and Moline Street. Adam's family's home is a nice, cozy 3-bedroom brick house. I'd go to his home and his parents welcomed me, as if I was one of their own, every time I was invited there. Adam and his family would help me with my English, pronunciation, and improvements. He and his siblings showed me how to play video games and various board games. Back then, Adam had the latest electronic game system around. Adam had the Atari 6500. And we played every game he had. Besides playing electronic games, we also played board games like Monopoly, Sorry, and Chutes and Ladders. His brother Matt, who was my sister's age, was also in her 5th grade class. He helped Adam and taught me how to ride a bike. Once I learned to ride a bike, we would ride to various parks throughout Aurora and local cities. We went swimming and also picked strawberries at the local park. And pick also fruits and vegetables. I would have lunch and dinner at Adam's house, with my uncles and mother permission, of course. His family was so nice and giving to me then. To make me feel more comfortable, they even got me a high chair to help me reach the dinner table during our meals together because I was so tiny then. I laugh about how small I was then, when I first arrived to the States. Adam also had a younger sister. She was a year behind us in age and school grade level. I wish I could remember her name. She was very cute then. Luckily, I still have their grade school picture I kept in a safe place for keepsake to this day. There was a time when Adam's family took me on a swimming trip with them at a local public pool. And while there, to be safe side, I stayed in the kiddie pool section. Because I couldn't swim and then that well at the time. But I had a swell time running and floating about in the shallow area. Just chilling and enjoying innocent fun. I have never seen nor have met a family that was so willing to take in a total stranger and to take care for me that much. Although the Caldwell in West Virginia and the Romero of Long Beach, California comes very close to that of Adam's family. Adam's brother, Matt, was my sister's classmate. So he would help her in class just as much as Adam has helped me in mine. Adam was my best friend. and his family was wonderful to me, and Adam's other classmates and friends as well. I will never forget them. Sad to say, later that year, before the end of second grade, Adam and his family moved away. I'm not sure where they moved to, and we lost touch since then. I'm sure Adam had no control over it, since he was only 7 or 8 then. I surely miss him and his family. I hope that we may be reunited one day. I want the chance and opportunity to thank Adam and his family for all they have done for me, when they assisted me in learning the American language and culture. I felt so blessed then. Fortunately, as a keepsake, I kept pictures of him, his brother and sister. All of our school pictures. In turn, he has pictures of mine as well. I surely hope he and his family remembers me. The innocent, ignorant, impressionable little kid then. I'm the kid without my 2 front teeth in a yellow sweater and my hair sticking up, just like Alfalfa from the Little Rascals sitcom in my 2nd grade school picture at Montview Elementary School. The school year went well, and then the school season came to an end. Miss Beckes wished me good luck with a warm hug and soft kiss on the cheek, which made my tan face blush with a smile from ear to ear. And she said that she'll see us later. Shyly and so cute, 2 little children, Candy and I, hugged and said goodbye for the summer. I never saw Candy again after that. She too had moved away and gone during that summer months away from school. I missed her the following year that rolled around. I remember looking for Candy on the first day of school. I had thought much about her during summer break, but she was nowhere to be found, and sadly, I moved on. During a part of my summer vacation that summer of 1985, my sister, cousin, and I were sent to summer school to improve our English and grammars. Early in the morning, we walked to Montview Elementary School and boarded a bus to school. It traveled several miles, much further than any school we had gone to before. I think our summer school were held in the Montebello area. Summer school helped improve my English much that summer. My speech got smoother, and we learned about groundhog, prairie dogs, and many other prairie animals when we went on hiking trips along the prairies. We read various fairy tale stories, from the Little Red Hen to Goldilocks. Our class went on field trips, going to open plains to watch groundhogs and other rodents. We would paint and sing fairy tale songs in class and had a great time with various classroom activities. During our free days in the summer, Uncle would take everyone fishing. I love going fishing. The outdoor and being with family is a blessing. He taught me and the rest of the children how to use a fishing pole, how to grab the worm and properly hook them, and how to throw and cast the fishing line without having to use a fishing pole. We also had a great time during these mini fishing outings. We caught catfish, bass, carp, and many other fishes that live in the lakes, streams, and river. We fished throughout the Denver and Colorado area. We also cooked and ate whatever we caught. He would take everyone on picnics at the Denver Park and Zoo where we would pick apples and oranges, and also we would catch crayfish there. We would also catch crayfish in one of the many ponds in the park. Now, to catch the crayfish, we would use a bone with a little meat on it, tie it to a string, drop it in the water, and then within moments, slowly we bring up the line, and we trap the crayfish within a small handmade net. At times, we would catch 5-gallon bucket full of crayfish. We always had a feast on those nights we cooked up the crayfish for dinner. Once we brought the crayfish home, we would clean and rinse it thoroughly and then boil them in water. Usually my uncle would also cook them in boiling beer and water to keep off the fishy smell. Once the crayfish is cooked, we then ate it with steamed rice and homemade chili spicy sauce. We all enjoy our crayfish meals and ate heartily to our heart's content. I sometimes do this now. Although the city park now has now moved more crayfish pond and such, there are still some other places throughout Aurora and Denver to find crayfish, mainly along the aqueducts and runoffs. When no one else wanted to go on the fishing trip, Uncle and I would go by ourselves. just him and me. We would hand down his wisdom of fishing, reminding me to keep working hard and keep pushing for what I wanted and need in this world. Uncle has taught me much about being patient and understanding, and about living one's life. To be true to oneself, and to be true to one's family and friends. Where life is full of challenges, and to face them head on, with your head held high, and to live it to the fullest. He's a wise man, and I admire him for that. And I try my very best to absorb every knowledge that was being handed down to me by him. One time he took the whole family and everyone, including some of our Asian neighbors and friends, to a lake on a fishing trip at Sloan Lake. The drive there took several long minutes, but worth it. The children would go off and play on the swings and about the fields. My girl cousins came up to me and told me to show them how to swim. Me, being stupid, without hesitation or a second thought, I got undressed, down to my skivvies, shoes off, and went about and jumped into the lake and got my underwear all wet. From what he saw, Uncle laughed and said, "While you're down there, why don't you go ahead and catch that duck over there?" pointing in his finger at the direction ahead. So I did as he wanted and instructed. I slowly swam and swiftly forward and caught that nonchalant duck. Once caught, the duck didn't put up much of a fight. With glee, I held the duck up to show my uncle of my catch. He laughed and then told me to snap the duck's neck. Without few hesitation or any questioning, I did as he said and snapped the duck's neck and killed it instantly. I then retrieved myself from the water and toward my uncle's direction and handed him the deceased dead duck. He swiftly took the dead fowl away from my firm grip and threw it in the trunk of his vehicle to hide away from the park ranger who was patrolling the park and the lake area. The duck that I caught was used for one of our meals during that next week. And what sucked about it was, I, the one who killed and caught the duck, didn't get to eat any of its juicy, oily meat because the adult ate it while the children were away at school. During our stay at home, everyone in the household would watch cartoon and children programming together, learning and enjoying the fulfillment of family time and just having a nice time spent together. Besides educational cartoons and shows, we also watched various 80s sitcoms like The Cosby Show, Punky Brewster, Kids Incorporated, Alf, Archie Bunker, Bosom Buddies, Benson, Cheers, Silver Spoon, Different Stroke, The Facts of Life, Family Ties, Who's the Boss, and many other sitcoms that were entertained then. Besides watching family sitcom, we also watched nighttime soap opera like Dynasty and Dallas. Sometime during the family get-together, we watched sports, especially football during the fall season. That was the first time I had ever seen football sporting event. It was a Denver Bronco game, and my uncle is an enormous Broncos fan since forever. From then on, and after the football season had ended the following January, I began to learn about and view other sporting events that the United States had to offer. I began to watch baseball, basketball, tennis, golf, ice hockey, and on television. My mind was quite open then. I was absorbing anything I could get my curious mind on. I was quite the learner, and I wanted to learn everything. Sometime at home, while I was bored and if they needed me to, I would play house with the girls in the house. But most of the time I would be my uncle's shadow then, watching his every move, learning and hoping to learn from him, who was once passionate, understanding, patient, hard-working, and devoted to his family. He is now somewhat different. He has changed from the uncle I once knew when I was young and naive, and I no longer wanted to be like him. I'm trying to be better myself in that aspect. Become a better me. Something that I wasn't a few days back. I no longer admired him and no longer long for the day that when I have my own family and nieces and nephew, that I would admire me as much as I would once I admired him. I no longer seek admirations or gratitude from anyone I know. This is what has become of me. Thank you for listening. This is the end of chapter 13. Be on the lookout for chapter 14. titled Church and Worship. Until next time, this is Do, Ra, Mi, and I'll see you later. Thank you.